On Google Ads, you have a ton of competitors and they are competing with you for the exact same keywords and services that you are promoting. So naturally, you want to make sure that people click your ad ahead of your competitors. You want the bigger share of the clicks, the better click-through rate. Because a better click-through rate means you get a bigger share of the clicks, meaning more traffic without having to pay Google a premium to reach more users with increasing your bidding. So it's a no-brainer. A good click-through rate is a fantastic thing to have, and it increases your quality score, also lowering the cost of your traffic in the auction as well. So what I'm going to share with you now are my 7 laws for better ads. These are the things you need to do to get a better click-through rate in your ads, to beat your competitors and to get a bigger share of the traffic. These tips are going to use a mixture of the technical, so of course things that are best practice in Google Ads that you need to do to get a better click-through rate. But in addition to that, we're going to go beyond just Google Ads alone and actually look at some of the techniques proven to work in advertising to get a bigger share of the clicks on your written content. So starting off with the technical side, you have to use keywords in your ad copy. This is so important for a couple of reasons. Reason number 1 is because Google actually likes this, and you can see that when you start creating your responsive search ads, when you start using your keywords in your ad content, Google confirms this with a little green tick and a confirmation next to the keywords that have been successfully included. But number 2 is of course straight up relevance. People looking for a particular service or product, if they can see that service or product that they typed into Google in their ad, it makes it more likely that you're going to click. Now, let's be clear here. All of your competitors are probably doing this as well, which is why the tips coming up in this video are going to help separate you from your competitors. Tips like this one, which is that you should be using money and numbers in your ad content. It is proven in many areas of content writing that using numbers and demonstrating things as a value in terms of an actual numeral and numbers in your ad can help differentiate you from your competitors, and people have their eyes drawn to numbers quite quickly when scanning a page of adverts. So the next ad that you create should contain actual numbers, whether it's discount amounts, whether it's reviews, whether it's number of products you've got, maybe hundreds of styles or whatever it might be. Include numbers. People's eyes are drawn to numbers, and it really helps get more visibility on the search results. Moving from the written word back to the technical, it's really important that you use keyword insertion in your adverts. And the reason for this is, of course, it makes your ads adaptive to what the person is typing in. If they type in a keyword that's highly relevant to what you provide, your ad content can adapt to that search and match the keyword the user typed in, again, adding more relevance. You've put your keywords in your ad directly, and as a fallback, you can also use keyword insertion. In fact, when you start creating a responsive search ad, if you use keyword insertion, you can see Google sees that as getting full keyword coverage. You start to see many more of your keywords actually go to green status in that builder for your responsive search ads, and it actually means Google sees keyword insertion as making sure your ads contain relevant keywords. So it's a good way to shortcut this and save time. Instead of creating multiple headlines with loads of different keywords in, this can be a good way to get most of your keywords covered with a very simple insertion. Up next, be sure to use a call to action. This is a very simple, obvious one that a lot of people often forget though. A call to action basically pre-primes the user to understand what action they have to take next when they hit your website before they even click. Now, you might want somebody to book a consultation call, you might want somebody to complete a form, or maybe do a quote, maybe you want somebody to live chat. Whatever that action might be, if you communicate that in your advert, subconsciously or even consciously, the user is going to understand what they have to do when they hit your page. They have an expectation of what's going to come next, which can help with improvement of conversion rate. So it's really important to contain a call to action because it helps people down the path towards conversion. Also, it's an instruction. It creates urgency. It creates a reason for people to click. Here's the action. Come and do this now. Click the ad in order to move forward with what you actually want to achieve. So in two ways, really, a call to action can help, not just because of expectations of what to expect, but also as an instruction from the search results page to help the user make a decision and move forward with their purchase. Up next, we're going to go back to content writing and how that can help with your ads, and that is to use benefits, not features. Think about the benefits to the end user of your product or service, not the features of your product or service. So to give you an example of a benefit versus a feature, say for example you're selling headphones and they happen to be wireless headphones. The feature is wireless Bluetooth headphones. Great. What it actually means is no more tangled cables. Or maybe you're selling an air fryer, which they seem to be everywhere at the moment, so why not use that as an example? But instead of just saying the air fryer has a removable basket, all you would need to say is that it's easy to clean. These are the kind of things you look at between a feature and a benefit. Think of what is going to help the end user, not just the feature alone. Your website can go into the features in a bit more detail and have a list of features, but actually use the tangible benefits alongside them. At every mention of a feature, mention the benefit to the end user. It's just simple marketing 101. And sometimes as Google Ads advertisers who are very technical, we forget stuff like this. So it's important to use these aspects as well. Up next, be sure to localize your ads. When I say localize, what I mean is if you're selling something or providing a service that geography has a big impact on, make sure that that geographical element is included in your ads. Now, there are a couple of aspects to look at when achieving this. First of all, if you're using geographical based keywords like car servicing in London, be sure, of course, your ad contains the word car servicing in London. Make sure it mentions London, make sure it talks about the coverage of where you're going after, so maybe we cover all of this area of London or whatever it might be. Make sure you're mentioning that specifically in your ad. But secondly, there's going to be a bunch of keywords even for a location-based business that do not contain a geo, because if I'm in London and I'm looking for a car service and I just type in car servicing, then of course I'm still interested. Just because I didn't use the word London, of course I want to use a local service. And that is where location insertion comes into play, because you can use location insertion to automatically insert the location of the user searching into the ad content itself. So therefore, you don't have to cover every single geo with keywords, because you've got that covered with your geo-specific keywords. With a proper ad group structure with your geos, you can cover that yourself manually. But if somebody doesn't give their geo when searching with a keyword, you can automatically import their geo into the ad content, which is really handy for click-through rate. One pro tip when using this: make sure when you're using the location that you have plenty of space either before or after the location in terms of character count. So don't make your ad too long and then add the location at the end in the headline or the description. Make sure the content preceding or after the location is as short as possible, because location names have different sizes and Google can only show so much ad content. So you want to make sure it has an opportunity to show the entire location and have space for an advertising message. Therefore, going back to the car servicing example, you don't just say car servicing in and then location insertion, just do car servicing location insertion. It doesn't read as well, but if it gets the location in there, you're going to benefit from a better click-through rate anyway. So it makes sense to do this regardless. And my final tip, which is all about copywriting and not the technical, is to use power words. So what is a power word? What makes a word powerful? Well, it's quite simple really. A power word is a word that triggers an emotional response, because people don't always just buy with logic. Of course, emotion comes into it as well. Yes, you want a problem solved, or yes, you want to buy something and you have a logical reason behind that purchase or wanting that service, but it's only the emotional that makes you really get over the line and really think, actually, I really want to do this, or I really want this service. Power words fall into one of three categories. These are seductive power words, emotional power words, and sensory power words. Seductive power words are the kind of words used to make people take action because it's a no-brainer or it sounds extremely exciting. So an example that's used by Apple quite often is the new iPhone, new being the power word, because people are like, oh, it's new, I want to check this out. Or things like free. Of course, everybody wants free stuff, so saying words like free, if you can do that, is a good power word. So maybe a free quote, even though obviously quotes are usually free anyway, just adding the word helps move things along in that regard as well. Emotional power words are exactly what they say they are. They are basically tapping into human emotions. So things like anger or fear or love or hate or basically anything. You will love this product. You will love this product. Don't fear this anymore if you're solving a problem. Those kind of words that tap into human emotions of like love, hate, attraction, fear, all that kind of stuff, that will really help get through to your users as well. So as I say, if you're solving a problem, tell them not to fear what the problem is anymore. If they're going to love your product, say you love our beautiful whatever it might be, that kind of thing, that is what an emotional word is. So it's really important to try and get those into ads as well where applicable. And finally, there are sensory power words where you're literally describing how things look and feel. So is something shiny? Is something textured? Does it smell good? How does it smell? All the kind of senses that you have as a human. If your product or service relates to those senses, then you want to use those in your ad copy as well, because it's going to help paint a picture in the person's mind, helping them make a decision on whether or not they should be buying your product or service. And there you have it. These are the 7 laws for better text ads. Let me know which one works best for you, or the next one you want to apply to your campaigns yourself. I reply to pretty much all comments on all of my videos. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to head over to darren-taylor.com for your PPC audit, and I'll see you guys on my next video.